It doesn't seem like my computer wants to work, so I'm gonna have to stream it here on this phone and get it all set up. Of course, I won't be able to see where I'm at in the frame, so I'm gonna try to stay right where. Good. Check, check. All right. All right, so let me see if I can get on here, because this is definitely not working. Let me cancel that. It's just really irritating, the YouTube streaming stuff. So let me go to my website and go to our YouTube channel, and let's see if I can follow this live right here. All right, cool. Showing up, pinned chat. Hello. All right, so it's just a little bit of a delay. Let me see if I can make this look a little better. All right, so what we're going to do today is just a little bit of double swings, some double cleans, some transformer squats, and then a little bit of a circuit, and then another circuit at the end. So the first thing I really like to do when I'm preparing hips is use a larger size ball, something from Yoga Tune-Up or Tune-Up Fitness, Rad Roller, any of these companies out there, but a larger size, because what we're going to do is try to loosen up the hamstring tension. You've probably been sitting a lot through the day. It's the same thing on the TFL, glutes, and everything. So first, I'm just going to take this over here, get on this pad. I like using this. It kind of softens a little bit. There we go. So this is trying to wake up my glutes, and piriformis, kind of loosen the tension of that up, and really just kind of put me into focusing on the muscle that I'm going to be using. So lots of squats are going to be using lots of glutes. Swings as well. Ooh, right here. So I found a spot. I don't know if you can see that. Let me go to the side. It's kind of where my glute tie-in comes down into the femur, and I'm going to work on contracting and relaxing that until I feel the tension go down a little bit. So that is one of the biggest things that I do, is focus on tissue recuperation and readiness. I'm not a very, very big stretcher with passive stretching. I like to go in and out of motions. I like to use stick mobility, things that's not up there behind you. So right there, I already feel kind of like less resistance in that side, that glute. So I can see myself a little bit in less time. So I'm going to try going on the other side. And once again, you can see how I'm putting light pressure, kind of lifting myself up and working on readying that glute tissue. Lots of different tools you can use for this, but it doesn't have to be a harder ball. I'm not a big fan of anything lacrosse ball, because I weigh 225 pounds. Sitting on a small ball puts so much pressure on delicate tissues. So that's why I like the larger ball, a little bit softer ball. And once again, this mat. This is a nice and cushioned mat that gives me a little bit less, a little bit of resistance, less tension. All right, so another thing is you can use even a ball, something like this. You can literally sit on that and work on loosening up some of that tissue and kind of increasing blood flow to the area. So that's a big thing. All right, let me go hit the hamstrings real quick. I've been having some tension in my, lateral quad. I do a lot of work. So I'm going to kind of roll into this side. I'm going to put it over here and kind of peel, right there. Get into that lateral quad. You can see it pushing up a little bit. So hamstring, bicep femoris, and then right through there where that lateral quad, to me, gets pretty sticky. I do so much cycling, and I just have really large dominant lateral quadriceps compared to the VMO, which is the teardrop muscle part of your quadricep. So once I go in here a little bit, loosen up some of that area, get some side motions. Now I'm not trying to stretch or get my IT band. The muscles connect into that tractive tissue. We're not trying to stretch it. We're trying to loosen it, make the muscles not so tense around there. So it can be a little bit more freed up. So there's that side. Just quickly spin over to that other side. And you can see right here, I'm trying to trap that hamstring and lateral quad, and I can go forward and backwards in internal external rotation. And the more I get that, especially for swings, have you ever had a lot of tension back there? Feel like the back of your legs kind of burning? That's the type of stretch I'm not looking for. Just looking for increasing that range of motion. Here's another way you can do it, is extension, flexion of the knee. All right, so do a little bit more here. I like to do Superman, basically, bird dog. So I'm gonna do a couple of these. Engage the torso. You see the heel kind of going back this way. Get some room. Another thing why I like this mat: hard surfaces, knees, etc. Switch sides. And then, last but not least, I like to do kind of a primer for the hips. So what I'm going to do, sit here, and I'm going to bend over, but I'm going to sink my hips back to my heels. So here, you can tell I'm not using my quads. My hands kind of go right in alignment with my feet. Now, if I was doing this wrong and leaning forward, I'm just going to fall on my face. So here's a good drill to start to really get that hip back. Notice how my spine stays straight. My arms are straight too. So anyway, now it's ready to get into some stuff, okay? All right, so move all these things out of the way. Now I'm doing 2 20-kilogram bells today. And first what I'm going to do is maybe loosen up the hips a little bit, some circles, because we don't want to stay in that single flexion and extension plane. So I'm trying to loosen up that, like I said, the TFL right here on both sides of the front of the hip side. I haven't done these in a while, I'm kind of crunchy. Okay. Sorry. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do double inside the hip kettlebell swings, okay? We're going to do 3 sets of 7 to 9 reps. So I like to hike them back, tilt them back, and go. And always carefully swing to a stop. Instead of bending over, I'm going to swing and drop down my hips. Drop hips down. Okay, so the thing about doing double kettlebell swings is you have to find that proper stance. If you're too wide, you're not going to have much range of motion. It's going to feel weird. It's not a sumo deadlift. It's just enough that the bells can pass right here. Now, if you swing like this. A lot of people do a pronated bar type grip with smaller cast iron kettlebells. It's not going to happen with kettlebell sport bells because the width of the handles. So now the handles are going to go past. You have to be much wider than you do if the handles are at a 45-degree or even a thumbs forward. So what I like to do is make sure the bells kind of touch each other like magnets. All right, so my heart rate isn't going to go down as fast as yours might because I'm talking, and when you're talking, you're not breathing. So a lot of times I like to use a heart rate monitor and make sure start my set maybe at 120, 110 BPM. I feel like I'm ready to go. So once again, tilt back, grab the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and swing goes down. So if you're doing any resting in between, that's when I like to stretch when I need to stretch, okay? Just an active recovery. You can do anything you want. You can do a lunge hip flexor stretch. You can do pigeon or something like that. Kettlebells always make for a good prop. So if you need to hold yourself up as you're going in to work on your hip, internal, external rotation, kettlebells are a great tool for that. Oh, that side is tight. All right, so when I train and do a lot of this stuff, and mobility and tissue health doesn't have to happen at the end or the beginning of the workout. I noticed how tight it was right there. And it's right here, okay? So I'm not gonna wait. I'm gonna take a quick 30-second. Oh, yeah, that is tight. I have no idea that it was that bad until I started with my movement. Okay, so roll. We're gonna have to come back to that tonight. All right. All right. But I would much rather do a little bit of tissue work through the day all the time, many times versus one long set. You can bring these things with you. That's the beauty of tools. Half the time people don't even know what you're working on. I like to use it as a chair or something at work or at desk. Let me hit this other set. Now I feel like I always have like a minute or so rest in between. And that's just kind of my clock. So go whenever you're ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then carefully swing your stop. Hopefully, I'm not going to bust these pants today. I have a habit of doing that. Anyway, so this kind of just a test, and hope it's coming together okay through this phone. I'd like to use the computer. I'll figure out. I might have to ask for your expertise if anybody's watching. Leave some comments below on how we can best streaming software to use for this type of stuff. Because the native YouTube one doesn't seem to be working well for me. You know, if this helped you, leave a super thanks or something like that. You can leave a small donation, whatever. Go to kbmuscle.com. Grab some programs. This is a little bit of the first day of my double kettlebell precision plan, which is 4 weeks of teaching you how to use the most what's the word? I wouldn't say efficient, but the really important double kettlebell exercises, and then some extra ones on top of that. All right, so now we're gonna do double cleans from floor. So I'm gonna turn around a little bit so you can see the angle, okay? So here, now this is not where you're gonna pull the kettlebells from. You're gonna pull the kettlebells from back here See, now I have tension. Okay, so he cleans. I like to grip the back of the handle, and it's gonna be 4 sets of 5. Ready? 1, 2, watch your hands. 3, 4, and 5. All right, so catching breath. I'm gonna turn this fan on. I love this room, but it doesn't have an air conditioner in here. So past the threshold into the next room, that's where everything's cool. So I'm gonna turn this air on. And unfortunately, can't listen to some awesome music because YouTube won't monetize me, you know, listening to an awesome soundtrack. All right, so I'm gonna do this one from the front, okay? Now, once again, kettlebell sport bells. Kettlebells are meant for one hand. Now see where my hand is here? There's not enough room for 2 hands, okay? So yes, when you're doing swings, and everybody does 2-handed swings, look how little grip I had. There's 6 fingers in here, and realistically 5 fit, okay? So that's why it always looks like people's pinkies are out. Or if you're grabbing out here, your pinkies aren't doing much. So that's where mace and other tools like Bulgarian bags come in handy to help train the ring and pinky fingers. See if I can do that. Because in kettlebell in kettlebell training, you're really using thumb, forefinger, middle finger for most of the stuff when you're doing 2. Now, when you go to the full grip, like I said, that's meant for one hand. There you go. All right. The bigger the kettlebells get, usually the handle gets larger on cast bells, but you never can totally trust that. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna go at 45 degree. I'm gonna put them back by the heels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, so there's 2 down. So whatever you need to do to calm your heart rate. This is more of a strength building because there's 4 sets of 5, double swings, 3 sets of 7 to 9. It's not based off on time. I like people to learn repetitions and lower reps when they're working on technique. Because the farther you go, the more your body's going to be fatigued without rest. Especially if you're learning something, there's no reason to be doing sets of 20. You're going to be fatigued, especially if there are multiple sets. All right. So let's go again. I'm going to pull these back and hike them. I'm going to try to keep this part of my body, my arms stuck to my body. So everybody's different. My triceps and the inside of my arm touch my rib cage. Okay, so it almost looks like I'm wearing like a bench suit for powerlifting, stuck down together and tight. And the hips are what's doing the work. Okay, so let's start back. So stuck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Notice every time, no matter where I'm at, I hike back and I swing, drop my hips down. Okay? The last thing you want to do is end your set like that. Okay? I see it all the time. I've made videos on it, and there's people that said that's how they ended their sets years ago, and kettlebells messed them up. It wasn't the kettlebell, it was how they used it. So every set, no matter where you're at, no matter what rep, make sure you're setting it down carefully and safely. All right, last set here. And go from the side again. See if you can see a little bit more of that. All right, so hike back. Get ready, stay tense. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, so that was basically kettlebell cleans from the floor. The difference is it's not a repetitive swing, okay? You're starting from that dead position, dead weight, but instead of out in front of you, you're starting with load, tension, connection. Just like a deadlift, okay? You wouldn't just jerk. You'd pull into tension, then go, okay? So that is what we're trying to do. We're trying to create leverage. The next one that's coming up is the transformer squat. Now, what people do in kettlebell sport, or most of the kettlebells, is a front rack squat. See a lot of people putting them up here. This is kind of a hybrid. It goes from the front connected rack with the bell sitting here. We're going to roll the bells up. So your arms up here, the sphere of the bell is actually sitting on your traps and your shoulder, okay? Your hands through in a false grip, and you're going to squat down again. So what that does is it shifts the weight to the back. Then we shift the weight to the front, hence transformer. All right, so I'm going to do one from the front, one from the side, and then one for my sip of water. How's everybody doing? Let me go check on something. Anybody got some, any chat? Let's see. Ah, cool. Yeah, there's some people chatting. All right. Just say hello. All right, cool. So there's a lot of different questions over here. Someone says, if you feel like your arm's getting pulled out of the socket when coming down on the snatch, is it a weight or technique issue? Well, first off, let's say a technique, because technique should be better at the lower part, high body. But then as you go up, weight. So you might not be ready for it. But let's just say on the cleans, because you shouldn't be snatching unless you can clean incredibly well. It's the same thing. Kettlebell starting from down here. Now, if you're letting it yank your arm, okay, we have to get ready to absorb that weight. And as soon as your arm extends in the elbow, that's when the hip starts absorbing the weight back, okay? You gotta stay back, buddy. I'm shooting a video, but thank you for saying hi. Did you do a good nap? Yeah. Cool. All right. Can you see it? Yeah. All right. So anyway, if you're snatching, if you feel like it's taking your arm out, do a half snatch down to your elbow, elbow down to the body, absorb and then down into the clean. Okay? Then you can go back up. All right. Try that and see how it goes. So we're moving on to the double transformer squat. 4 sets of 2 in the front, 3 in the back. All right. Same way, I'm going to start back here. If I want to, I'm kind of doing this dead stuff, dead weight. So 1, we're going to do 2 squats up front. 1, 2. Now we're going to roll these weights up here and do 3. 1.
Good job.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome. How can you do that?
How can I do that? Yeah. Well, I've been lifting weights for a long time.
Hey, please, I try it out.
Maybe later, okay? You can do it up in there if you want to. All right, so Oliver's trying to help me. He's going to get his squat on. But once again, that's why I was showing you how to activate some of these exercises. We need a video of him doing that because it's great.
Go stand with Daddy.
Oh my goodness, come here.
Show him how to do it.
Okay, my little guy's going to show us how to do a single arm transformer squat. You just pick this thing up. All right. You got it? Good job, man. You're doing some squats. Nice. Whoa, you deep one. Oh, I love you. Good job. That was so awesome. Can you wave?
Yeah.
Okay. You doing more?
Yep.
He's a ham. You can see yourself? Okay.
Okay, one
All right.
more time.
Last
then we gotta
one,
let
okay?
Daddy do
2.
his workout.
Can you do one more? Can you do the deep one like you did before? Good job! Okay, careful. Oh, that's impressive.
Ooh.
Here, let me finish, okay? Oh, thank you. We got our kettlebells all lined up. That's
Super good job. Buddy.
You can test out mine.
Okay. It's so heavy. How's that?
Good.
Thank you.
Now you can pick up those kettlebells and do this.
Let me do this one first. Transformer squats. 2 in the front, 3 in the back. Ready?
I want to try. I would like to do that.
We gotta decide.
So you can see that I shifted that back on my hips. Now,
Oh, okay. Then go pop.
and then you just go like this, roll them into the front again. So there's 2 sets. I mean, Oliver comes in here. I love it. Can't believe it. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Ollie is a beast. Let me do some of these questions. Someone asked, how many weeks? Let's see. How many days per week do I train? I train probably half as much as what you think I do. I usually train Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays with weight training. So I'm to a point where I don't really feel the need that I have to be much stronger. So I know this is going against what everybody thinks. I'm very happy with what I have, strength-wise, and technique with kettlebell stuff. So really, it's just to keep that form and, try new things, get different angles, come up with stuff that'll help people. So I train 2 to 3 times per week strength training. I try to be outside as much as I can. I try to be on my bike maybe an hour to 2 hours per week, and that's where I get most of my heart pounding cardio. And sometimes it's just a kettlebell sport set of 10, just a 5-minute snatch set, and that's all that I do for exercise, and then it's being out there. So I'm sorry I can't really add that, but so let's say I'm on a program. So the programs that I make at kbmuscle.com are the programs that I follow because I'm creating them, and then I use them. And they work very, very well. Many of you have done them. Like I said, I appreciate you getting them. And if you want to, go to www.kbmuscle.com/shop, and you can see a lot of different ones. If you have any questions, just hit the pop-up and I'll respond to your questions. But anyway, not a lot. I like 30 minutes or less training with weights. Like I said, now if I want to lose 10 pounds, it's going to come from nutrition. It's not going to come from me doing 2 hours of exercise every day. Hey, oh, what happened? Did the doggy chew off Mario's arm?
No, I tried to put his out hands in the kettlebell.
Oh no. Mommy will help you. Mario lost his arm again. Okay, so let's see. Any other things? Yes, and that's what I want to do. I want to build this so we can do this. Let's start with once a week. I'm probably going to do some things for Kettlebell Kings and some other companies. But I commit 100% to us in this right here. Now, it's hard for me to commit to a bunch of other companies. But, if it's going to help us increase this reach, then yes. But anyway, let me get that other set, okay? So that was 2, I believe. Let me go back to the front. Do you want to see this totally from the side? You can do the transformers from the side. So I'm going to hike them back up, clean them up, get them set. Now, notice I'm as vertical as I can be. So I'm staying straight up more. And 2. Now I'm going to rotate them up. Now I'm going to shift my hips back. 1, 2, 3. Now, how I take them down is like this. So I'm going to do one more quick set because conditioning is fine. Like I said, these are 44-pound weights, and that's another thing. While you see me do two things, lift really, really heavy kettlebells, and also do kettlebell sport competitions, which I can't believe still, it's surreal what happened last week. But anyway, what I train with most is in the middle, because I feel like that's what gives me the, I don't want to hurt myself lifting heavy stuff all the time. Once again, I feel like I'm strong and I'm good enough with the strength that I have. Sometimes I like testing stuff out, but it's not a thing. I don't stress about it anymore. And I think that was a huge change for me in my training. In general, mental wellness when it comes to exercising. You should feel good. You should never go into a workout leaving feeling worse because you missed repetitions or things like that. Some of the worst workouts that I've ever had when it comes to comparing what I physically did to what was written on paper, the next ones, or even a competition after that, were some of the best. So sometimes it's just like traffic. When you're driving to work, you never know when you're going to have a bad day of traffic, and it's not about you. You just got to go with the flow. So that's my biggest thing. When I told myself that I was strong enough at this level, anything I trained was going to feel good. So that's what I go. I go for basically training so I don't feel pain as much. Let me do this set. I'm going to go from the front one more time. Okay. So front, I like to connect. 1, 2, roll them up. Notice I'm going to spin around so you can see. All that. So they're just, the handles are holding them on my neck. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to roll them forward. All right. So that was the end of that first strength stuff. Now here's the fun part. This little complex is a swing, clean, rack squat. And we're going to do that in escalating reps. So it's going to get tougher each set. First set's going to be 4. Swing, clean, rack squat. Swing, clean, rack squat. 4 reps. That's my child in there growling, just in case. That's not a dog. All right, cool. All right. Well, first off, I want to thank everybody. Thank everybody for tuning in, and hopefully you can help me expand this or any of our social media, because now I'll be able to do a lot more stuff like this. Let's move on. So you ready? This is double 20s right here. I don't know why I like that. That was a fun rotational. So, all right. Swing, clean, rack squat. Are you ready? Let's go. 1, 2, 2, 2, 3.
Good job.
3. Thanks, buddy.
Okay. And also
And
hard.
4. 4. All right. So there's the first set of swing, clean, and rack squat. It's a nice little complex or chain or whatever you want to call it. I'm going to take a rest. The second set is going to get tougher. Because we're going to do 6. So it's a 50% increase, right? We're going to do, I usually do different stuff. Hi, buddy. But I usually do different things. Usually it's 8, 6, 4 or something like that. But this, like I said, this isn't a crazy heavy weight. This is something that's really usable. Just get you sweating. get you connected. But we are going to be moving to 6 reps here now. So now if you need to, if you have some bells you want to drop down, go ahead. If you don't, that's why I picked this kind of medium range weight. I like these 20s right here. Feel good. But one kettlebell that I use the most are 22s and 26s. Anyway. Okay, heart rate's back down. I'm about to do that set of 6. I asked my little buddy for water. Can you bring me a cup of water? Please. It's in the kitchen, I think. All right. So. Here's a question before I do this. Someone said, should people, oh, that's a big glass of water. Thanks, buddy. You're a great helper. You can run the gym soon or something. Probably do it better than me. So someone wrote, should you do kettlebell rotational exercises? You gotta think about this. I don't like crazy amount of load, but there's a lot of things you can. Anytime you're building a house, I mean, think about how much rotational and tension you have when you're swinging a baseball bat, a golf club, hockey stick, anything like that. I mean, if you're swinging for a home run, you're going to be so tense. Sure, you don't have weight pressing down, loading. You're not really taking a barbell and rotating with heavy weight. But when I snatch, when I do single arm snatch, I do a lot of rotation. Lateral / transverse plane. It just depends on what it is and how I feel like my body's gonna work with it. The Bulgarian bag. Hey, bud, can you, Ollie, can you please? Hey, we might have to have our little buddy removed. He's throwing everything in here. Bud, come on. He's throwing all his food.
All his snap peas.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm getting pelted with snap peas.
Yeah, we don't throw snap peas.
But anyway, so like, you know, rotational like clubs and things like that, that might be better. Trying to think, Bulgarian bags, which I absolutely love. I mean, it's definitely rotational, but like I said, it's not weight pressing down into your spine. So I don't know. If it doesn't feel good to you, don't do it. I definitely don't do a lot of this junk that I see all over Instagram. I mean, you probably know I like to keep it basic and build muscle or endurance. All right, so ready. So here we're gonna go. Now we're going for 6. Swing, clean, rack squat. Ready? 1. 1. 2. 2. 3. 4. Now, hopefully I counted that correctly. Felt like 6. Okay. So how's everybody feeling from those? Super simple thing, just increasing the reps each set. 4, 6, and 8 ended up being 20. So there's 20 reps. I'm sorry, 18 total of that. So a lot of times people are wondering how you can progress. And I don't write all my programs to just progress on numbers. What I really like to do is write days that are cumulatively more challenging. So Kbomg 1, perfect example. People love it. I think one of the biggest things that people kind of or at least I've heard some people, they want more progression. Now, it's really easy to do with very little exercises. Like when you have programs with not many exercise changes, I mean, that's really all you have, okay? So, but on those programs like Kbomg 1, I have so many different exercises that target the same areas. And that's kind of the progression as far as that. It just builds everything without you worrying about a number. Kettlebells, because they come in weird sizes, right? You're jumping up 4 kilograms. So when you jump up 8 kilograms at a time, you go from 20s to 24s, okay? The load on that is such a big difference. People don't realize it. That's how they can press, say, double 24s. They can press it once or twice. But they can't increase more because the weight below it is so far away that they have a hard time. Now with a barbell, you can go up in very, very small increments, you know. So that's why I don't really like only numbers and reps. I like doing more sets and stuff with kettlebells. It keeps you connected and less fatigue, physical fatigue. All right, so now, ready for number 8. You notice I took a little bit longer. Ollie's dancing back there.
You can just watch if you can sit and be calm.
All right, so now this is number 8. I'm going for number 8. And then I'll tell you a little story after this. All right, so 8, swing, clean, squat. Once again, hope my pants don't rip. All right, 1, 1, 2,
3,
2,
3,
3,
Daddy, 3.
4,
Ba-ba-ba-ba-boo.
5, 6, 7, 8. Okay.
Look at that.
So now you can probably see I'm sweating and I'm out of breath. Because that last set, 8 reps, was 100% more load, 100% more, volume than the first set we did of these.
Thank you
So
for keeping me.
normally it's different than straight sets.
Like that.
That's 18. You could have done 6, 6, and 6. Or you could have done,
Mine.
2 sets of 9. You could have done 6 sets of 3. So many different ways to do that. So the next thing we're going to be doing, maybe some
Will you give me the trick?
big one or little one?
The big one. The medium.
Trips.
The fave.
I'm going to lay on this one for a second. Taylor always uses the medium size. I like this one because, well, I'm more dense. Dense in the head.
That's it.
Dense. All right, so
Daddy's dense.
I'm going to show you how you do this. I'll put it this way. Whoop, there's the water. Thanks, little buddy.
Welcome.
You want them. You're silly. Here, can you climb out of there? And then
There we go. So
over that,
I like stretching and getting over this.
and then roll on here.
Hmm.
Jump.
Really like to get my.
And then jump.
Ooh, that's tight.
Jump.
So this really gets my spinal erectors and opens up my rib cage.
I got on this.
Climb.
All I really do is get on here and breathe. Stretch my arms up. If I'm trying to increase my lung volume, I have to be able to expand my rib cage.
Lava.
Yeah.
So this is a good one. Oh, there we
I
go.
got to jump in the lava and get it.
I'm not jumping in any lava. Promise you that. Another one good for the glutes too. Good for the hamstrings. This is kind of like what you could do at the beginning that I was doing with with this. Very similar, just different modes. So certain people, different things fit differently. So, oh, yeah, that's good. It's a real good one. Hey, mister. Did he call you mister?
Yes, sir.
So anyway, we're moving on to the last circuit of this session. We're going to do double Somersault squats, and if you want to do a single, that's totally fine. I like to do a lot of heavier weights. We do alternating presses and bent over rows. Okay? Alright, so the first one. We'll do 12 sets of Somersault squats. If you don't know what these are, you hold the bell here. You put this part of your wrist in as tight as you can. Touch the bell down. Push up. So you're rolling your hips forward. That's a Somersault squat. Now, I'm going to do 2. So, same thing. I'm just going to grab in this area. Pull up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And it burns, it burns, it burns. Ah, yeah, I mean, that's just 88 pounds, but my quad's twitching, literally twitching. It works so well if you try to do like a leg extension type exercise or build your quads without putting a lot of weight on your spine, because the weight is here. Now, we're going to go down to do the alternating kettlebell presses. Now, there's a reason I like a thicker yoga mat. This isn't double thick, it's about 1 inch. But for things like this, so my shoulder blade and everything, not digging into that hard floor. I like to do this for a long time, so. Anyway, I'm gonna set these over here.
Hey, Mom, can you please share a coffee cup?
See if you can. I'm gonna go down here because I can't tell where I'm at. Here's a question real quick. Let's see. Someone asked, how can they pry themselves into an single overhead squat? Been trying to for years and nothing works. Well, well, you're at YouTube, my YouTube already. But what you can do is type in overhead squat, and I have a lot of different fixes. You could use a band attached from the front. You could do, there's all sorts of stuff with bands. You can do holding bell out in front. You can do, I'll show you right now. Here. We're going to do this. All right, so we're going to go here. Now, right here, there's my anchor. Okay? That's going to keep me from going back. So there's other ways to do that with a band around your hip, etc. Thank you, buddy. Good job of you. All right, so let's get to these. Maybe I'll throw those overhead squats into the next thing we do. So, once again, I like to start here, put these bells. You're going to be pressing. You're going to put them in here on your quads, okay? Roll your butt down. We're going to roll back. All right, so now we're going to alternate press. We're going to do 20 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 20. And carefully, when you put them down, I like to roll just kind of down here to my sides. The last one is bent over rows. I'm going to get this mushy mat out of the way. I'm bent over row. I like to get into this position, lock the torso. I want to touch the ground. Kettlebells really close. I'm going to do them to the outside of my feet so I don't smash my toes. Okay? I'm going to start them from slightly in front. I'm going to pull back. 1, 2, 3, 4,
Got
5,
a magical thingy.
6,
Thing.
7.
I'll be right back. Make sure you're quiet.
All right, so there's 8. You can probably notice how I kept that back nice and flat, torso stabilized, abs tight. Be careful, buddy. Okay. So there is 1 round. I'm gonna do 2 more.
You think?
This one just depends on how many you want to go. You can do unlimited part of this if you want to. If you had a lighter weight, just kind of assistance exercises. Definitely warm in here. But also, we're almost right at an hour. So if it wasn't for me talking, you'd have a pretty quick, I'd say, 30, 35 minute workout. It doesn't have to be crazy. I mean, right here we have 1, 2, 3 exercises. And then you have swing, clean, and rack squat, the same ones. And then you have 3 other exercises. So all told, you have a total of 6 exercises in here. And the major ones are for your hips, legs, and torso. All right, so I'm going to go back into this. I'm going to go at my real speed, okay? I'll do it from the side. You see why people call these here. Start with the jokes about the somersault squat names. Okay. Going into the presses.
Mom, I did a good job. You did a good job. Good job. Good job, Daddy. Good job.
4, 5.
Good job. Daddy, good job.
Thanks, buddy.
Come watch this in it. Watch this. I said, watch this. Watch this.
All right, so this is more of a real-time speed. I'm happy the shorts haven't exploded yet. They're still in good shape. Let me check over here. Anybody has any questions? Oh, here's a bunch. Someone said, when I started swinging your video on the proper swing, got my form right. When people ask me about swinging, it's your video, share. Thank you. Anytime you can, thumbs up, share, send your stories or anything, that helps us a lot. If you want to, I think you can hit like a super chat or a super thanks or something like that. That helps. Anytime you go to kbmuscle.com and the links below, that helps obviously our search engine stuff. I'm going to try to put a lot of stuff there. Maybe some private videos for members only type kettlebell workouts and different form checks. Might even have just a group Zoom thing where I can help people with their form and stuff like that. Pretty soon I'll be doing certifications. I just got done with the kettlebell sport, the World Championships, and now it's time to do that. Here's a funny thing. A lot of people have asked me, like, hey, you just finished World Championships and you got this. Now what? And I'm like, what do you mean now what? Like, that's the end goal. So now I chill and do other things. So that's one thing. Like I don't want to be like, ooh, I have to do 32 in competition. It's another year from now if I do that again. Chances are, probably will. But right now, I need to recuperate and do other things. And making a focus on this is a big thing. Hey, see, thank you so much there. Thanks, ProCharge. Anyway, really appreciate. I've seen so many people here that have got our programs. I love it. Thank you so much. And like I said, you probably saw a little bit of this one from Double Kettlebell Precision. Anyway, let me go one more round. I'm going to do this one from the front in case someone wants to see it. I love this mat. Actually, absolutely love this thing. It feels so good on my feet. It actually feels like it's stretching feet muscles. All right, so bring this up, wedge it in the hips. 1, go wider. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Notice I'm not running on time here because this is basically just feel. I do a lot of stuff by feel. And by the time I'm done with this, it'll be right in an hour, and it's a perfect thing. All right, so I'm gonna get these over, pop them up here. Not too bad when they're less than 50 pounds or so. False grip inside. Get off the mat. Little Donnie Thompson butt walk there. All right. Now, if you want to, you can do hip bridge and decline a bit. Let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right. So the interesting thing about, I'll lay down here. The interesting thing about that decline, when you do the glute bridge, is your elbows don't stop at the floor anymore. They actually go past. So you gotta be careful about that on your shoulder. It might be a little bit more front delt, but I'm focusing on bringing his elbows together, okay? Elbows together. That's what your chest does. Your chest controls where your elbows go, okay? So if you focus on where I'm pressing with the elbows, right underneath the wrist, then your chest is going to be much more involved in that. If I just focus on pushing, triceps do a lot of the work. So I do a lot of under supinated grip stuff. With cables or kettlebells, is because the biceps are on now, chest and bicep. Okay, so my triceps are very strong. All the kettlebell jerks, all the stuff I used to do for bodybuilding. I love training triceps. Anyway, so there's 3 rounds of that. If you want to continue and do a couple more, be my guest. And then, if you don't mind, shoot some feedback below on things that you enjoyed, things that you would like to see differently, anything that could help, timing, any feedback you want. And I'm trying to think. And once again, stop by kbmuscle.com. I'm going to put this over there as well, kind of in a log for these community workouts. So thanks for everybody that joined us, and I'm going to take off, get some food, and watch this little guy jump around, jump from couch to couch. Yeah. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night.
Look,
Look,
mister.
mister. See, yeah, I tried to start streaming that